Hi guys, I hope you enjoy this video on profiling against teenagers. We will be discussing the different types of profiling, mainly racial though, and how teenagers are thought of in our community. Please enjoy the video.
Waking up in the morning and to be well. Quite honest with you, I ain't really sleep well. You ever feel like your train of thought's been derailed? That's when you press on, lean in. Half the population just waiting to see me fail. Yeah, right, you better off trying to freeze hell. Some of us do it for the females, and others do it for the retail. But I do it for the kids, life through the time we're in on. Every time you fall, it's only making your chin strong. And I'll be in your corner like Mick, baby, till the end of when you hear a song from that big lady. Until the referee rings the bell, until both your eyes start to swell, until the crowd goes home. What we gon' do, y'all?
Give them hell, turn the heads. Gonna live life till we're dead.
I think racial profiling is when an individual judges you by your race or ethnicity. Without exactly. Have you ever been profiled? Yes, I've been profiled in various places, mainly in like supermarkets. Yeah, mainly supermarkets.
Can you give an example, like in detail?
Sure. So this one time, I was at Kohl's. And I was walking out the metal detector with my cousin, and there was a group of other people with us. And the metal detector started going off, and we were the only ones pulled aside, mainly because we were the only Mexican ones, Hispanic, yeah. And the rest were white and Asian.
Have you ever witnessed someone being profiled?
Not exactly, no. I've just read about it mainly, but I haven't actually witnessed it.
Do you think it's a problem in your community?
Yeah, I think it is a problem because a lot of people are getting themselves into trouble. Well, not themselves, but they're getting into a lot of trouble just based on how they look and their ethnicity.
Do you think teenagers in general get profiled not just because of their race or ethnicity, but just because they're teenagers in general?
Yeah, I think just anywhere, when you get a job, or when people just, when you're walking through a street, people just because you're a teenager, people assume oh, they smoke, they drink, they party all night, and it's not like that with a lot of teenagers. A lot of teenagers have ambitions and, they have goals. It's not all about partying or whatever. So I feel even as a teenager, wherever you go, you always look like that, no matter what, because it's just something people think all teenagers do, even though that might not necessarily be true.
What do you think should be done about profiling?
I don't know. I think a lot of people need to just be educated. I think it starts there. A lot of people just need to be educated on what people really, I don't know, just not judge people by how they look. Just education throughout.
So, thank you for letting me interview you, Mr. Smith.
Absolutely.
What do you think profiling means when it comes to, not racial profiling, but when it comes to profiling teenagers?
Profiling teenagers. By anybody, or particularly by police or by adults in general?
Adults in general.
I think that you just want general thoughts on profiling. I think we have to pause. Some would say, sort of pump your brake before you make any judgment, especially about a group of people. Teenagers have a very, very mixed sort of reputation because some of you make really positive choices, and some of you, a few of you, really the smaller portion of you make some really bad ones that get highlighted. So I think that when you see an adult who's wagging that finger or making some critical statement, it's usually probably because they've had a negative experience, one or two maybe. It's not like 50 kids came in their backyard, jumped in their pool, threw a party, threw a keg in, we're going to rage it out. This stuff doesn't happen. But let's say if one kid dropped a piece of trash in front of someone's home, that might be enough to get the reputation that all teenagers then drop, which is a stereotype, terrible. But we should definitely not do this, and we should give you guys the benefit of the doubt in most instances as you are young and developing.
Okay, that's really, thank you. Do you think, have you ever been profiled in the community?
That's a loaded question. No, in all honesty, yes. And just from the aspect of just being a teen, I did have a job at one point, and when I was a sophomore, and I remember going home late, and this officer stopped me and asked me where I was going. And I think, right with these lows after 10 o'clock, but he wasn't harassing me. He did want to know where I was going, though. And I wondered if he stopped every kid that was out that late and asked where they're going. But I certainly told him, I was walking home. My dad works graveyard shift. He can't give me a ride home from McDonald's off El Monte because he's sleeping. No one else in my house drives. So I had to walk home, don't have a bike, and, showed him my identification of who I was, and I was off and on my way. But the idea that I wasn't coming from a job was probably not his first thought. Probably not his first thought. So it'll be, it's interesting. It's hard to say where the case is profiling or not because people can, change their story for why they stop you or what have you.
Have you ever been profiled by a police officer or someone in your community?
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you think that this is a problem in our community?
Yes, I think it is a problem because I believe that many citizens are feeling not safe because they're getting pulled over for, not good reasons.
Mm-hmm. How would you react if you were profiled?
I would ask what I did wrong.
Okay, so throughout our project we found out that profiling is an issue, and so what we're doing for the solution is to make everyone aware of it. And so if you see anybody profiling anyone or giving them a mean look, then let them know what if they're going through a hard time, or let them know there's more to that person than just profiling them. So that's what I believe the solution should be.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best.
Thank you guys for watching our video. I hope you're well educated now about profiling teenagers and how people profile them. And I hope you guys learned a lot from this.
Can we start? Yeah, I can start. It's fine. Okay, we can edit all this out. Okay.
Practice run.
Okay, this is practice run for the MuckRaking Project, Mr.Messner, period 1, U.S. history. I'm literally just reading off the paper.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Messner, question mark, Mr. Rojas. Practice run.
Yeah.
You.
We're gonna write down all. Okay, so those.
Cooper.
Okay. Okay, come.
And